shot from the Goodyear blimp high above us here, and also going high into the air right now are the blue and gold balloons that have just been let off. The Raiders have won the toss, and they will receive as we get this game started. The final game of the preseason. And there's head coach Art Shell of the Los Angeles Raiders. Art, as you can see, well over 500. He's in his 5th year now as the head coach, only the 9th head coach in Raider history after playing 207 games as a professional, and a great professional, the Raiders' all-time left tackle. And across the way, his counterpart, Chuck Knox, 61 years old now. His head coaching career actually began 20 years ago with the Rams, so he's in his 2nd stint. Only NFL coach to lead 3 different teams to division championships. Spent 5 years with the Rams, then 5 years with Buffalo, spent 9 years with Seattle, and now he's in his 2nd year here with the Rams. Improved their record last year from 3 victories the year before to 6 victories last year. Going back to receive for the Raiders will be Greg Robinson. There he is, number 28, and Alexander Wright is back with him. Robinson, of course, broke the long 74-yard touchdown run against Indianapolis a week ago. And preparing to kick off is Tony Zendejas. In his 9th year, his 3rd year with the Rams. He spent his first 6 years in the NFL with the Houston Oilers. So here we go, Raiders and Rams. Zendejas is ready, and these fans who continue to pour into Anaheim Stadium are ready too. The kick is going on a line drive kick to Greg Robinson, 3 yards deep in the end zone. He elects to take it out. Has a lane to the left side. Good return for the Raiders. Fine field position to start things off. Out to the 32-yard line. It's been a problem area for the Raiders in the last year or two. Good kick returns to give them some field position, and they'll have some here to start tonight.
Now, to watch this return, normally if it's about 3 yards in the end zone, you run it out. Look how decisive he is. There's no hesitation, no dancing, no nothing. He sees the cavity, takes advantage of it, gets as much out of that play as he possibly can. The key was a quick decision.
Jeff Hostetler at quarterback for the Raiders. He only played 9 plays a week ago. He'll play a lot more than that tonight, barring injury. Smith and Nick Bell in the backfield with him, and Hostetler is going to throw on first down. He's looking downfield. Nothing open, takes off to the right side. Fumbles. Raiders have it. Rich Stevens making the recovery after the near disaster for the Raiders in the opening play from scrimmage.
Yeah, and especially they haven't thrown the ball too much on 1st and 10. They start the game with a potential pass. The protection wasn't good enough ready. He had to get out of the pocket quickly. He got hit, fumbled the ball, and unfortunately, Gilbert made the recovery, or Stevens was.
They actually end up with a gain of a yard on the play. It is 2nd and 9. I formation this time for Los Angeles.
They should run right if they run.
Nick Bell, little stutter step, good yardage across the 40 to the 41-yard line.
That was a good key breaker that time. They were in a slot left. Normally, they like to run back to the tight end side. That time, they ran straight ahead.
Raiders starting Smith and Bell in the backfield. Alexander Wright, Tim Brown at the wideouts. Ethan Horton as the tight end. The offensive line, Rich Stevens starts again. Gerald Perry will not go tonight, resting that torn triceps another week. Steve Wisniewski, Don Mosbar in the middle. Max Montoya, the great veteran at right guard, and Bruce Wilkerson at the right tackle spot. Hostetler brings the Raiders up now in a 3rd down and 2 situation from the 41-yard line as his back split and Horton in motion. Steve Smith, first down, Raiders. Up to the 47-yard line. The hole was there. Nice work on the offensive line by the Raiders.
Yeah, they got a good push on the right side, and the lead back did a good job of cleaning up after the blocks of the linemen, so it worked out nicely on the play.
We'll take a look here at the Rams defensive alignment at linebackers for the Rams, and there you take a look at the defensive secondary as the Raiders come up 1st and 10 now with the ball just outside the 41-yard line. Hostetler is back. Rush from Stokes, but he gets it off in a completed pass to Nick Bell. Roman Pfeiffer makes the tackle, but not before Bell has a nice pickup to the 45-yard line, which will leave the Raiders in a good quarterback calling position here at 2nd and 2.
Yes, and the nice thing about it was a play-action fake, plenty of time to throw the football, and as a result, they execute nicely. This is the kind of thing they have to establish some kind of continuity with their offense. They're off to a good start if they can just maintain it.
Hostetler, as you can see, has had a high career percentage. Steve Smith, big hole off the right side again, and the Raiders are blowing things open on that right side. First down for the Raiders. Tackle made by Shane Conlon.
Good push on the right side of the offensive line by Montoya. Look at the nice block he gets, caves the defensive tackle down into the hole. As a result, creates a big opening, and they pick up a nice gain on the play.
Steve Smith, outstanding blocking back. He was an unrestricted free agent who elected to stay with the Raiders. Ball at the 39-yard line, another first down. This time they split Nick Bell out wide to the left and leave Smith the only remaining back. And it is incomplete, dropped by Alexander Wright.
Boy, that was a perfectly thrown ball, and the nice thing about the play was the fact that the pass protection was excellent. The quarterback has to be able to go back into the pocket, watch this, and then step and throw and follow through, which he does. He gets the ball right on the money to Wright. He just drops the ball, incomplete.
There to knock him out of bounds, but he didn't really need to, was Roman Pfeiffer. But Wright should have had that pass. 2nd and 10.
See, he didn't catch the ball out in front far enough, and it went right through his hands.
Pitch to Bell. He leads one tackler, but he can't get away from Fred Stokes and the rest of the Rams, who come up very quickly. Robert Young from his defensive left end position. And a short gain. That's going to make it 3rd and 8 after a gain of 2 by Nick Bell. There's Fred Stokes, 7th year out of Georgia Southern, in his 2nd stint now with the Rams.
Well, here we go into the outside play with a replay. Look at Smith trying to get a block on the outside, but the defensive lineman, Stokes, goes inside of the block and makes the tackle.
Rams go to 6 defensive backs now. The Raiders with a wide split of their backs. Ty Montgomery's in there. Hostetler looking downfield, lofting one for Ty Montgomery, can't get it to him. Nice coverage by Darrell Henley, 5th-year pro out of UCLA, who refused to let Montgomery escape away from him.
And that was a good call because the safety was blitzing on the play. It was strictly one-on-one, and he threw the ball over the top a little bit too long, but the coverage was excellent by Henley. And that's the one thing about throwing a ball. If you're going to be wrong long, not short, because that usually winds up being an interception.
The ball on the 37. Jeff Gossett will punt. He's one of the best in the league at putting the ball inside the 20-yard line. It'll be a tough assignment here with the line of scrimmage of the 37. Let's see if he can do it. Aims for that sidelines, and he gets off a very poor punt. A terrible punt by Jeff Gossett.
I was just going to say before he kicked the ball, in that case, a right-footed kicker should never try to kick the ball to his right out of bounds. He should kick it to his left, because if he kicks it and slides off his foot, it goes off the field. If he does it on the left side and it's a bad kick, it rolls right down the middle of the field, and so it's not a bad kick.
After an 8-yard punt, the Rams will take over. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. That's an I formation for the Rams, and the give is to Cleveland Gary getting the start tonight. He's brought down by Aaron Wallace. After a gain of about 4 yards, it'll be 2nd and 6. Cleveland Gary last year gained 1,125 yards for the Rams in his 5th year out of Miami. Was unhappy with his contract situation, but he gets the start tonight for the first time in the preseason. Tim Lester joins him in the backfield. Flipper Anderson, Richard Buchanan replaces Henry Ellard at the starting wideout position. Pat Carter at the tight end. Eatman, Newberry, Brostick, Pahukoa, and Robert Jenkins across the front line. Leo Goaz and Jackie Slater, who man the right guard and right tackle spots, are not able to play tonight. Gary fumbles the football. The Raiders have it. It was a poor pitch by Jim Everett. The play was busted and doomed from the beginning. Greg Townsend had the fumble recovery for the Raiders. There's Townsend, who's made a history of making big plays, but that play was disaster from the very beginning, Hank.
Yeah, that time he was ready to toss the ball, but evidently the back, he hesitated a little bit. He got out there too far, had to reach back for the ball, couldn't maintain possession of it, and that's what happened on the fumble. It looked like it was a hesitation. He's ready to pitch it, and I think probably Gary went a little bit too flat. That's what the problem was.
So there's Greg Townsend making the fumble recovery. Townsend, who had Pro Bowl honors in 1990 and 91. Big break for the Raiders. Standing behind Anthony Smith. Here's a give to Steve Smith. Smith off the right side, brought down by Shane Conlon and Robert Young. Gain of about 3 yards on the play for Steve Smith. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. There's Shane Conlon. he of the skinny legs, but as you can see, the unrestricted free agent who came over from the Buffalo Bills, right in his prime now, 7th year, 3 times has been in the Pro Bowl. Second on the team in the tackles so far here during the course of the preseason. 2nd and 7 now for the Raiders. Backs offset this time. Wright and Brown both to the right side. Hostetler has the completed pass to Tim Brown, brought down after a short gain by Shane Conlon, and he is short of the first down. It will be 3rd and 2.
There again, excellent job of pass protection on the play. He had plenty of time to anchor in the pocket, and then go back into the area. There you see Conlon going back into the zone area, trying to read what's happening. Finally comes over and makes the play after the reception.
Hank, he played in a 3-4. I'll get a comment from you later on. He played in a 3-4 at Buffalo, but now he finds himself in the middle by himself in this Rams 4-3 defense. Now the Raiders on 3rd down. Here's Ty Montgomery, and Montgomery runs right into Anthony Newman. He is close to the first down. We'll watch for the mark here. I think it's going to be a little bit short. It looks as though they mark it behind the 15-yard line.
Montgomery is going to be in on 3rd down situations. They like to throw the ball to him a lot. That time he ran the ball. I think he's going to be a terrific player for the Raiders this year. I really do.
They'll stretch out the change now, and we'll wait for the information. It looks as though it's short by about a foot. And so the Raiders will go for it now on the 4th down. The Raiders with the ball just outside the 15-yard line will bring in 2 extra tight ends. They're going to go with a big alignment here, a 3 tight end alignment. Coach Art Shell with Terry Robisky right next to him, sending in the play on 4th and less than a yard.
And this is something they like to do in this situation to make them be able to relate to this particular play somewhere along the line. If they run, they're going to run to the right side or up the middle. Here they go.
Hostetler in the quarterback sneak, and he has the first down.
Normally in that situation, in that yardage, they'll call the quarterback sneak, and if it's a little longer than that, then they'll give it to a back.
So the Raider drive continues. As Hostetler goes back to the huddle, and he looks as though he had a little opening there. Stumbled a bit, Hank, but he found the opening.
Well, there was a pretty good push there. As long as you got a gap there, he has to hesitate long enough to see the gap and then hop into the gap as soon as he possibly can to get the yardage.
Now they have Brown wide right. Alexander Wright is on the left-hand side. Hostetler wants to go to Steve Smith. He's got him. He turns it upfield. He tries to get into the end zone. He does. Touchdown Raiders. 14 yards.
Somebody blew the coverage. A linebacker normally has to cover Smith on that kind of a play. Nobody was out there. He was in space all by himself. Makes the catch, goes down the sideline, and makes it in there for the touchdown. Nice looking execution on the play.
And as you can see, there's a tremendous number of Raider fans on hand. Here it is again, Hank.
There he is. Plenty of time to throw the ball. A good angle. Throws it right out in front. And a good job by Smith. Most of the time, a back will try to jump out of bounds. In this particular case, he lowered the shoulder and plowed right into the end zone for the touchdown.
He's a powerful guy. He's had one of the Ram defenders spinning in the air, and the kick by Jaeger is good, and the Raiders have struck first. 5-play, 25-yard drive results in a Raider touchdown. They lead it 7-0. This is Los Angeles Raiders football.
Susan.
3-1-0, 3-2-2, 5-9-0-1. Here's Darrell Boykin taking the kickoff for the Rams. Nice move up the middle, finds a lane. He is brought down from behind by Dan Land at the 25-yard line, and a penalty flag thrown. We have an injured Raider, Elvis Patterson, now being helped to his feet, but getting up very slowly, way back at the 8-yard line. There's the man that made the tackle, Dan Land.
Evidently called. You see that right before he made the cut inside. Good call on the part of the official.
Amazing thing is that Dan Land was the man who got smacked and held, and there's Steve Smith, who had the touchdown for the Raiders. He's turned into a real nice pass receiver for the Raiders. Here's Cleveland Gary running behind the lead blocking of Tim Lester, gets the block out front, turns it upfield, Nice run by Gary as he got up to the 21-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and a first down. And Winston Moss. And in the defensive secondary for the Raiders, Terry McDaniel, Lionel Washington at the corner slots, Derek Hoskins and Eddie Anderson, the safeties. First down for the Rams, out of the eye. Gary tries to cut back, and he runs smack into Joe Kelly, and he walloped him.
Had no chance whatsoever on the pitch. Student body right from the I formation. And watch Kelly, 57. Look at this, going outside. Look at, see the big cavity in the inside. He goes right inside and makes a very good hit, a good angle, and a real good pop.
The more you see of Joe Kelly, the more you like him. 8th year out of Washington. Made an immediate impact in the very first game for the Raiders this year against Green Bay. Had a big hit that set up a interception, and the Raiders ended up scoring on that, so they felt his presence immediately. Everett looking downfield, trying to run away, and he's sacked. Pulled down with one arm by Anthony Smith.
He's a great pass rusher. He loves the pass rush, and that time he gets the hook on Everett. He had 13 last year, and it looks like he's going to have another great year as far as the pass rush is concerned. Here we see him, number 94. There you see it from the backside. There he gets the hook out, grabs it, and throws it right down to the turf. It's a little bit of an indication how strong he really is.
Anthony led the Raiders in sacks last year with 13. That's his third during the course of the preseason. Now it's third down and 17 for the Rams. Everett in trouble again. Ramo! Down he goes. Picked up by Anthony Smith. Touchdown Raiders! Penalty flag is down. The Raider fans going wild. Wait for the outcome of the penalty, however. It is against the Rams. It will be declined. Touchdown Raiders, Anthony Smith.
And I tell you, the offensive line so far and the defensive line of the Raiders are really overwhelming both lines. Here we never get another look at it. From the backside, there's Anthony Smith. He makes the tackle and has the presence to jump right up and recover the ball and twinkle toe right into the end zone for the touchdown. A great play by Anthony Smith, number 20, or number 94.
There's the kick by Jaeger. It's up and good. And Anthony Smith on back-to-back huge plays for the Raiders. He led the Raiders not only in sacks last year, but in forced fumbles. He forced that one, he recovered that one, and he scored on that one. Raiders lead it 14-0. This is Los Angeles Raiders football.
After the football game right here on K-Count. Rich?
All right, thank you, Gary. And there is the kickoff. Went through the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders have already scored more points tonight in the first quarter than in any of their last 3 games. Jeff Jaeger, nice kickoff, gets a low 5 from his partner, Jeff Gossett.
And the great thing about it is the key, they played at a short field position. That's what they haven't had in any of the other 2 games that we've done. Great field position makes the difference.
Each time a fumble recovery resulting in a Raider touchdown. There's a pass over the middle to Tim Lester, and he's almost off to the races before he runs into Eddie Anderson. Tim Lester, second-year pro out of Eastern Kentucky, and there's Jim Everett, who has the completed pass. Everett, during the course of the preseason, has had his ups and downs. There's no question about that. You're looking at his completion percentage from last year, 59%. But so far, during the preseason, he has hit an only 47%. But he did improve a year ago from his performance the previous year. His passing efficiency went way up. That is a first down for the Rams at the 37-yard line. Cleveland Gary, the lone remaining back. That's Richard Buchanan in motion. Ellert not playing tonight. Gary escapes the tackle of Mike Jones. Then he is hit by Anthony Smith and brought down. Penalty flag thrown.
Mike Jones really did a good job of filling the hole. Number 52. He saw the opening and popped right into the hole and made the stop.
It's an offside penalty against the Raiders, sure to be accepted by the Rams in this situation since the gain was short.
Offside, number 37 on the defense, lined up in a neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So it's a 1st and 5 now, Hank, for the Rams. So we look at Art Shell and one of his assistants, Mike White, discussing matters on the sidelines. 1st and 5. Cleveland Gary. Winston Moss grabs him, brings him down, but right about where they needed to be for the 1st down.
I'll tell you, Cleveland Gary has really improved tremendously the last couple of years. He runs with great authority, terrific confidence. Listen to him on a broadcast today, and you could tell how confident he is in his own skill and ability, and he runs that way now.
And he's become a pretty good pass receiver too, Hank. He caught 52 balls last year to lead the Rams in receptions. And it is a 1st down for the Rams. So they're moving the football this time, but they have been plagued by fumbles. The first one by Gary, and the Raiders scored 5 plays later. The second one by Everett after a sack by Anthony Smith, and Smith took it in himself.
Art Shell is back in business. He's feeling much better than he did a week ago.
Diagnosed with diabetes, but he says he's got to keep his weight under control. He said he told the doctor, I know what you're going to tell me. I got to keep my weight under control. Because you got it. Everett play action. Sidearms the pass to Cleveland Gary. Aaron Wallace makes the tackle. Another 1st down for the Rams after an 18-yard pick.
Right. Good execution on the play.
Rams have Troy Drayton in now as a 3rd wide receiver. He's a rookie. Stepping up into the pocket is Everett, rifles a pass intended for Buchanan, led him just a little bit too much, too high.
Well, he had to escape that time, and he tried to get it to him in a hurry when he was open, and in the process, got rid of the ball just a little bit too quickly. There he is. He's fighting for his life, and he throws the ball. See how high he releases it? That ball's got to go over the top, and that's exactly what happened on the play. Had he held on to it just a fraction longer, it'd have been a great play. There it is again, see? Had a chance, but very remote chance because it was just a little bit too high.
2nd and 10, ball on the 36. Buchanan wide right, Flipper Anderson wide left. They bring Lester back into the lineup, and he gets the football on a draw. Avoiding tacklers and then getting away from the tackle of Derek Hoskins, putting his head down, a pickup of, I think, 9 yards.
And good moves. You know, the great way you make good moves is to make sure that you keep your head up and your eyes open. Good vision. Here we see that right now. See, he starts one way, sees the hole, bounces back inside. He's still got his head up and his eyes open, and for that reason, he's able to get more yardage on the play.
The Rams bring in Travis McNeil as an additional tight end.
If they run, they're going to run this way. Nope, they're going back.
On 3rd and 1. Lester a spin move, but there's Joe Kelly, and I tell you, I am just more and more impressed with almost with every down with what Joe Kelly is bringing to the Los Angeles Raiders.
Yeah, he's playing viciously in that middle linebacker position. Watch Kelly, 57. Watch him come in. Look at the angle inside and makes the hit. Under control. The great thing about it is he's got his head up and his eyes open and under good control on the tackle.
A 47-yard field goal attempt coming now by Tony Zendejas, who 2 years ago was 17 of 17, had a perfect season. So far in the preseason, he's 4 of 6. This would be his longest if he makes it during the preseason, and he does. A 47-yard field goal by Tony Zendejas. And with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter of play here at Anaheim Stadium, the Raiders' lead has been reduced to 11 points. It's the Raiders 14, the Rams 3. Zendejas, who just kicked one from 47 yards away, gets his foot into this one. He sends Alexander Wright over to the right side, where he fields it right at the goal line. Avoids a man, finds some running room up the right sideline, up to the 31-yard line, and the Raiders are getting better kick returns tonight than we've seen for a while.
Yeah, they're making quick decisions, and I think that's always very, very important, to catch it on the run and make sure that you see the cavity and take advantage of it, get the most out of the play as you can. And I think on both returns we've seen so far, well, that's exactly what they've done.
Alexander Wright with that return up to the 31. Art Shell never looks happy, but I'm sure he's at least happy with the score.
Well, he was very upset last week. You
Oh,
know.
boy, was he ever.
Yeah, you can see the wax dripping from their ears after he got through with that speech he gave last week.
Well, that was after the game, and he said that he thought the players responded this week with a pretty good week of practice. Here's Nick Bell. Nice tackle, Shane Conlon. Good, solid tackle. And this is a good time for me to ask you about what I brought up earlier, Hank, about Conlon last year and in the past playing in that 3-4 with Buffalo along with a partner in the middle. Now he's all alone in the middle in a 4-3 alignment. How does that affect him?
Oh, I think, well, he's got the responsibility. They're protecting him so he can make the tackle. And it's just one guy in the middle area. And, you know, the famous 4-3, when they had those great middle linebackers like Butkus, and we had Willie Lanier and all the other great ones, they loved to play with one middle linebacker because they were the focus.
Raiders put Brown and Alexander Wright both out to the left-hand side. A loss of 2 in the play, 2nd and 12. Max offset. Nice protection for Hostetler. The pass was right there, but Horton going for a sliding catch as he went out of bounds, could not hang on.
See, there's the 2 big plays that they've dropped balls. It would have kept drives alive, but the protection that time was just excellent. There you see the cut to the outside, and he's falling away from the ball as the ball is coming in. As a result, he had no chance to really latch onto it, pull it into his belly, and maintain possession of the ball.
Hostetler is 3 of 6 so far, but as Hank pointed out, 2 drops have reduced his passing completion percentage here tonight. So the Raiders have a 3rd and 12. They have Willie Galden in the lineup now, wide right. Brown and Alexander Wright on the left-hand side. Great protection. Hostetler right up the middle. Was looking for that first down marker. Lost the football, but the play was dead, I believe.
Yeah, his knee had hit the ground. The ball was dead, and Timmy Brown picked it up.
First quarter is over with the Raiders leading it 14-3. If you're just joining us, they scored early. Hostetler to Steve Smith with a 14-yard touchdown pass following a fumble recovery by Greg Townsend and a fumble by Cleveland Gary. And then Anthony Smith sacked Jim Everett, ran it in from 4 yards away. Here's Jeff Gossett, who had only an 8-yard punt. I guess officially they've ruled it 9 the last time. He is standing back at his 25-yard line. Daryl Boykin back deep to get the punt for the Raiders. A near block of the punt by Gossett, but he did get it away. Here's Boykin signaling for a fair catch. He makes it at the 19-yard line. Elvis Patterson barely avoided him.
It didn't look like he made a significant signal for the fair catch. It looked like it was just one quick shot. Let's see what they call.
A 42-yard punt by Gossett.
See, he didn't make a good enough signal for the fair catch. Wasn't definitive enough. You have to raise it above your head and wave it back and
We have
forth.
an invalid fair catch signal on the receiving team. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the fall. First down.
Now I think he's hearing about it right now, Hank.
Yeah.
At the ball first down now, but they're backed up to their own 13-yard line. Cleveland Gary around the right side. Spinning tackle by Willie Broughton is into the lineup, replacing Chester McLaughlin on this defensive set. In the first quarter, not much difference really in terms of the statistics, but the big one there is that big yellow 2 in terms of turnovers for the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, we've said that a couple of times in the last few weeks. You know, that was always a big difference, but it was against the Raiders. Tonight is for the Raiders, and it makes a tremendous difference.
Ernie Jones, just picked up by the Rams in a trade yesterday from Phoenix, is into the lineup, lined up wide to the right side, but he goes underneath to Tim Lester, and he's got running room. Running away from Winston Moss. Finally brought down from behind by Terry McDaniel. A big pickup, 29 yards on an Everett to Lester pass completion.
I tell you, that Lester is impressive. He's got good hands, and he runs well once he makes the catch. Look at the big hole in the middle. He's looking. Harrison is rushing. He comes into the middle area. He knows exactly where he has to go. Makes a good block downfield. Can't tell who it was. But Lester does a terrific job.
He sidearmed that one, Hank. All right, the Rams have a first down at the 45. Another completion to Lester. The Rams have only 3 running backs available for this game. The tackle made by Torn Dorn and Winston Moss due to the injuries that they have. Gary, Lester, and Russell White are all they've got as far as healthy running backs tonight. But Tim Lester, as you can see, doing a nice job for the Rams this year in terms of the preseason. He never touched the ball with the Rams during his rookie season a year ago. Second and 4. Ernie Jones is wide left this time. Here's Cleveland Gary. Winston Moss wraps him up, brings him down to the 40-yard line, but he's got a first. Rams have a first down. They have both their wide receivers wide to the left side, and they get Sam Grady into the lineup this time, the former Raider. Along with Flipper Anderson, fake handoff. Here's a reverse, and Sam Grady's got it. And look out for that Olympic Games world-class speed as he turns it upfield. And the Ram fans like that. 24 yards, the first time that Sam Grady ever touches the ball as a member of the Los Angeles Rams.
You think the fans like it? What do you think Grady feels about it? He's got to be happy as can be. He'll be doing handstands. He'll do this against his old team. Well, here's a good reverse. Look at beautiful. Newberry's out in front. Look at Newberry, number 66. Gets a good block downfield. Stays with a block. And Grady goes right down the sideline. He's finally knocked that about.
Sam Grady just traded this week to the Rams for a draft pick. It's another first down for the Rams from the 16-yard line. They fake the handoff to Gary. Nice fake by Everett. Pass is caught. Down to the 8-yard line, Pat Carter. We've got second and 2. Cleveland Gary. Joe Kelly can't quite hang on, and Winston Moss has to come up and finish him off in the 5-yard line, but it's a first down for the Rams. It will be first and goal. Penalty flag down. It's a clipping call against the Rams. They'll pull it back. Cleveland Gary, who may actually have turned out to be remaining as a member of the Rams.
Illegal crackback block on number 83 on the offense. 15-yard penalty.
The crackback block called on Flipper Anderson, but Gary probably only with the team due to the injury to Jerome Bettis, but he's here now and running well. They hit Derek Hoskins with that block, Hank.
Pardon?
He hit Derek Hoskins with the block.
Yep.
And they got him for it. They move it all the way back to the 20-yard line where it is second and 14. Everett, good protection. Flipper Anderson drops the football.
Well, they got guys open, wide open in that middle area that time, right in the middle. He should have made the catch. Flipper Anderson on the play, 83.
Back there to help out. Being rushed by Nolan Harrison, flushed out of the pocket. Fires a pass that is caught by Buchanan, and he is brought down immediately by Mike Jones. Now Pahukoa and Derek Hoskins get into a shoving match. Nolan Harrison comes over to help out his silver and black teammate.
And Buchanan did a good job of coming underneath, rolling to the inside, and making that catch.
Where did they let those guys out from? Tony Zendejas has to come back on for another field goal attempt. This one from 28 yards. 5 out of 7 during the course of the preseason. Tony's really been a fine kicker. Of the many flying Zendejas, brothers, cousins, etc. Field goal is good. Zendejas kicks it through from 28. The Rams have kicked another field goal. And here in the second quarter with 9:27 left in the half, the Raiders lead it 14-6. After the 10-play, 75-yard drive, Zendejas kicks off. Charles Jordan going to get it. Fields it at the 3-yard line for the Raiders. Again, as a lane up the right sideline, the Raiders getting the ball out, providing some very good kick returning tonight to give them a little bit of field position. That time Jordan reaches the 27-yard line before he's brought down.
The great thing about the Raiders return people, they all have lightning. You know, they can strike anytime they get their hands on the ball. And I think anytime they touch it, there's a chance for a gin.
And that Charles Jordan, he's a kid trying to make the team that hasn't played football in 5 years. Hostetler at quarterback. He'll play until the third quarter. In fact, into the third quarter tonight. Looking. And he finds Horton over the middle, and he's brought down by Shane Conlon. He looked over to the right side. I think he might have wanted to go to Ty Montgomery over there.
Dell that time made a nice block on the pass protection to provide her a little extra time for Hostetler to get rid of the football on the play.
There's an injured 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. Powers went off under his own power. And here's Ty Montgomery with some jitterbugging moves upfield and showing some of that speed. 11-yard pickup for Ty Montgomery.
Well, he's an exciting looking runner. He's going to provide a lot of spark to this offense, I guarantee you.
And we've got sparks flying right now with a fight out in the field right near the Rams sideline.
That's a taffy pull. Nobody's getting hurt in this one.
Todd Light, Griffin are over there for the Rams. Wisniewski, Nick Bell. And Timmy Brown in the middle of it for the Raiders. Todd Light against Tim Brown. That happens to be Notre Dame against Notre Dame.
Well, you talk about the Fighting Irish. We saw a couple of them fight there.
Those guys were teammates. But not anymore. And there they both come, they're talking to each other as they go back to their respective huddles.
Maybe this is the first time they've had a chance to express that feeling they had for each other when they were at Notre Dame, getting a little fight.
High formation for the Raiders on 1st down. He did pick up the 1st down on the play. And the Raiders took too long. They were checking off at the line of scrimmage. Hostetler had to wait for Nick Bell to turn around and tell Ty Montgomery what the play was.
Still 1st down.
Most teams in the National Football League, too. Yeah, Light is going off the field.
There's Light and Timmy Brown.
They're both slipping each other the Notre Dame grip there to make sure everything's okay.
They're singing the fight song. Montgomery in motion, and he sets up now on the right side. So the Raiders effectively have a 3-receiver set.
Well, they got the left receiver wide open. There he is.
And that's Timmy Brown. Curl move by Timmy into the middle. There's a bit of a late pop by Todd Pete over to Roman Pfeiffer, and tempers are kind of flaring here.
Well, it's a big rivalry, you know, and both of them have struggled a little bit during the course of the preseason. They're trying to get something done here tonight, and some of the guys are still trying to make these teams.
There's Steve Wisniewski of the Raiders. 3 straight Pro Bowls he has appeared in. A #2 draft pick in 1989. Very mobile guard. Rams have the edge in total yardage, but the Raiders have the edge on the scoreboard. And that's the reason. 2 Ram turnovers. High formation. Here's Ty Montgomery getting some playing time tonight. Up nearly to midfield. On 2nd down, he picked up about 4, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
That time they ran to the slot side meaning that they have 2 receivers on the right side, tight end on the left. Normally that's where usually you throw the ball in that area, but this time the linebacker was out a little bit. They ran inside the defensive end. Nice gain on the play, and the linebacker was a little late coming into the hole.
The last minute, the Raiders pull Nick Bell out. Raiders get a 3rd wideout on the field. It is Willie Gall. Hostetler's pass is complete to Gall. He's got the 1st down. A completion to the 43-yard line. Henley making the tackle, along with Michael Stewart.
Well, there's a lot of discussion about Gall.
Well, he's been playing in the 3rd string in the depth chart so far in the preseason, and I think that's why people are wondering if he's going to actually be on the football team.
Well, that play is something that he doesn't run a lot. He ran inside a kind of a curl pattern, had good position, caught the ball well, and did a good job on the pattern.
So the Raiders are moving now, and they have 1st down. Good mobility from Hostetler. Gets the pass off. It's completed to Ty Montgomery. Here's what Hostetler can give you, Hank.
Well, that's a great thing about Hostetler. See, he's got escapability skill. He can move by design, and he can make plays. And that's exactly what happened. He makes a play to keep the drive away, see? Look at this, rolls out to his left. Good blocking at the point of attack. He got plenty. Now he escapes to the right. Another good block by Todd Pete, number 64, gets the ball outside. But here again, that's an impromptu play. But that's the kind of a job that he's capable of doing, moving the chains and getting a first down.
2nd and 1. That's Tim Brown in motion. Nick Bell struggling forward to near the first down. Boutte and Light making the tackle. I think he's playing, and those numbers would bear it out, his best game so far, Hank, Jeff Hostetler, as a member of the Raiders.
Yeah, no question about that. Of course, this is the first time really he's had a chance to express that talent for any particular length of time, and so that makes a big difference. Now, this is something that he needs. He needs to get repetitions, and he's getting it here tonight. He'll probably play a little bit in the 3rd quarter too, so that'll be good for him, especially if they leave on a high note like he is right now.
All right, they'll stretch out the chains here, and we'll see. It is a first down. Then you take a look at what Jeff Hostetler throws, and he's only thrown 7 interceptions the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's got good judgment. He really has. And of course, the nice thing about him too, he runs, he moves so well and throws the ball so well on the run.
Montgomery remains in there at the tail of the eye, and he's got the football. Runs into Mark Boutte at the 29-yard line. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6.
Here we see Montgomery blowing right straight ahead. Makes a good move inside. There's a little hole there. Lowers his shoulder and squeezes through there for about 2 or 3 extra yards. Good running on the part of Tyrone Montgomery,
who last year spent the season on the developmental squad for the Raiders, but he was a wide receiver. This year, the conversion to running back, and boy, that's a great transition for him. Hostetler, nice little pass over the middle to Nick Bell. He gets some running room, and he is rumbling down to the 16-yard line. Roman Pfeiffer with the tackle. 13 yards.
Bell that time ran an option pattern. Option pattern meaning he can go out of the backfield watching him. He can go out into the flat or back into the middle area. Hostetler got rid of the ball just in time. There was a linebacker outside, so he cut back in. That's the option, and he made the catch and really got a bang in the back that time on the last play.
Hostetler did a good job of just standing right in there, even though Mark Boutte was coming right at him, and he was full in his face.
Yeah, he does that very well.
Raiders split the backs this time. Brown wide right, Alexander right on the left-hand side. There's Nick Bell following Montgomery around the left side. Falls forward to the 12-yard line.
And Montgomery did a good job of staying with a block. It wasn't anything vicious. All you have to do is entertain the would-be tackler, which he did on that last play. A good job by Montgomery, number 17.
But Nick Bell is hurt and rolling over in obvious pain right now. And this would be a tremendous blow for the Raiders, depending, of course, on the severity of the injury here to Nick Bell. And they're going to just kind of roll him off over the sideline and out of the field of play. And these will be some tense moments for the Los Angeles Raiders now as they take a look at Nick Bell. As they help him to his feet, that's a good start. Raiders lead it 14-6, 2:53 to go in the first half.
Clean it up.
Bell now, he's coming around the corner. And it went right through his leg, but what Pfeiffer here, look at Pfeiffer, number 58, falls on his leg, and that might have been the problem.
Nick Bell is being carried off the field. They're not put any weight on the legs. Here's Gaston Green, and Young wraps him up and brings him down at the 10-yard line. So Gaston Green, in fact, Nick Bell is still being helped up, and as you can see, he just can't apply much weight to those legs right now.
Especially, it looks like it's his left leg. He's hobbling on the right one, but it looks like the left leg is a little bit limp.
Gaston Green goes back to the sidelines. The Raiders right now, as we reach the 2-minute warning mark, mark of the first half, have one running back in. That's Ty Montgomery. Now the clock stops. 2 minutes exactly remaining in the first half of play. The score, the Raiders 14, the Rams 6. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. Have lost Nick Bell. We'll wait for a report on Nick. Now we also understand Chester McLaughlin is injured a toe. He is not expected to return. The Raiders have 3rd and 4. They are at the 10-yard line of the Rams. Montgomery the only remaining back. Hostetler in trouble. He's sacked. Big rush from Michael Stewart.
Nobody touched him. They didn't pick him up on the backside.
Penalty flag is down. It appeared as though the Raiders were trying to draw the Rams offside. Hostetler was giving it that count of his.
Yeah, I think he gave it a long count with the hope that they'd get him offside. But in the process, they had a blitz in the corner, but nobody even touched the blitzer. Watch him. Look at him come on the outside. Nobody touched him. They were a man short on the blitz.
Amazing he didn't fumble there, but Hostetler was successful in drawing the Rams offside, though. Hostetler is very good at that. It's a subtle talent.
Offside, number 23 on the defense. The penalty results in the first down.
Don't forget boxing at the Forum coming up immediately after tonight's game. Here comes Jeff Hostetler, wide-eyed, back onto the field. Seeing the end zone. The Raiders haven't visited the end zone much in the preseason, and they're hoping for a 3rd strike right now. They've got 1st and goal at the 5. Gaston Green. Henry Rowland makes the tackle, and nowhere to run for Gaston Green.
And you know they're very happy about that because Green played for the Rams, and so they're rejoicing over that play. Watch this. Watch Henry Rowland make this play now. That's a great. And also, you know, I saw him play initially for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here he is. There's a hook. He puts him in the vise. You know, the amazing thing, you know, he doesn't run very much outside, and he's a great outside runner. Normally he's running right into the middle of the strength of the defense.
13th play of the drive. Hostetler in trouble again, and he's brought down. David Rocker, who replaced Sean Gilbert in the starting lineup tonight. Gilbert being held out, not due to injury, but just to make sure that he doesn't get injured. And Rocker came up with the tackle there, and they're beginning to apply some real pressure to Hostetler in that backfield.
There he is now going back. Look, at the middle is wide open. He started to move, but then the linebacker came into the hole. By that time, he got pressure from the backside. No chance whatsoever to make the play.
But Stokes likes the look of that. Stokes is one unrestricted free agent for the Rams. Henry Rowland, the guy who made the tackle, is another. The Raiders are letting the clock run down, and then they will utilize a timeout right as it reaches the quarterback clock, 1 second. And that sets the Raiders up here with a situation of 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. So Art Shell will put on his think hat now and see what he can come on the 6. What do you think about this situation, Hank?
Pardon?
What do you think about this situation now here, 3rd and 6?
Well, you know, let's see what formation they're in here this time. They're going to throw the ball. Right here, quarterback draw.
Hostetler wanted to get rid of it immediately. Then he put it down, ran it up the middle, and he's short of that goal line. At the 2-yard line, Mark Boutte getting that jersey dirtied tonight. And with 25 seconds to go, the Raiders have the decision here of whether to go for it or go for a field goal, but they might be too far away from that goal line to go for it.
You know, normally in that kind of a situation, if they were spread out a little bit more, that's a perfect time for a quarterback draw. Except they were in a little bit tight on the play. They had more people to react to the run. But I think that, you know, that wasn't intended to be a quarterback draw. He was fighting for his life.
Looked like he rose up. He wanted to get off something real quick there, Hank, but it wasn't there apparently.
Yeah, and everything was very, very tight. There were a lot of people inside.
So Jeff Jager will come on to attempt a field goal for the Raiders from 20 yards. Jager so far in the preseason has only kicked 2 times. He missed both of them, but those were long ones, 45 and 54 yards.
See, he goes back to where he's going to kick, take 2 steps left to his left, and never gets his eye off the area. Never looks up until he kicks the ball.
The kick is good, And the Raiders have extended their lead now, once again, to 11 points at 17-6, with 22 seconds remaining in the first half. Now, coming up at halftime, a news update, including scores of other preseason games. Then Hank and I will return with highlights and a recap of the first half. Ty Montgomery there were a big part of it, but they had the ball for 9 minutes on that drive, 15 plays.
Yeah, and that's, you know, they got to like that, especially because I think they're going to have a very good defense, so they can maintain possession. Plus the fact when you run the ball that well, you got a great opportunity to take advantage of play-action passes.
So now Jager getting ready to tee it up. That was his first field goal of the preseason. Raiders leading at 17-6. Not much time, certainly, for the Rams to get anything going here.
Well, it's interesting. I would think he'd kick a knuckleball or something where, see what he kicks.
Kicking it deep.
Well, he got it in the end zone. That's fine.
And it will be a touchback. The ball taken in by Steve Israel. Jeff Hostetler tonight. The game. There's Jeff Hostetler, who's played the whole first half, and we expect to see him in the third quarter. The Rams apparently are just going to sit on the football here, and that's why Rubley's in. He'll just go to a knee, and that will be the end of the first half. And there it is. And that is the end of the first half. The fans don't like that. They're booing it. They wanted the Rams to take a shot. And we've reached the halfway point of this football game. And at halftime, the Los Angeles Raiders hold a 17-6 lead over the Los Angeles Rams. Here comes the Raiders kick coverage. Forget it. They swarm him over. All the way back to the 8-yard line. After that fumble, there's Ricky Dixon making the hit and the tackle. And Hank still looming high over the game as the 2 turnovers that the Rams committed early in the game. Otherwise, the total yardage, as you take a look at it, just about even.
Yeah, that 2 jumps right out at you. That's the difference in the game so far.
T.J. Rubley is the quarterback to start the second half for the Rams. Here's Russell White. Runs into Aaron Wallace, and he's not going anywhere. Eddie Anderson came up to help along with Derek Hoskins from his strong safety position. T.J. Rubley, let's talk a little about him. He's a second-year player out of Tulsa. He is very popular with the fans here in Anaheim. He spent last year as the inactive third quarterback following a very impressive preseason. So far, though, his preseason this year has not matched the numbers. You see 14 completions in 35 attempts. Buchanan comes out wide left, and Ernie Jones is wide right. Tim Lester. Willie Broughton brings him down. Helped out from Greg Townsend.
Yeah, there was no place to run on that last play, a draw play from a passing formation, but not much blocking on the play, and Broughton makes the tackle.
Last one, of course, they ran out of time. Now on 3rd and 10. Rubley under pressure. Howie Long ran by him. He fires it upfield. He's got a man open. It's Buchanan, and plenty of room to run. Hoskins to beat, but he can't beat him. Derek Hoskins brings him down, but a huge pickup for the Rams. A 52-yard pass play. Rubley to Buchanan.
And the key again.
And that was Derek Hoskins. I don't think there's any question that Rubley's a mover back there. Very mobile quarterback. Certainly the most mobile of the Ram quarterbacks. Nearly trips, gets the pass off to Tim Lester, and Lester is hit immediately and dropped by Torrin Dorn. Short gain. Pickup of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Ball at the 36.
And the pass draw, the formations are coming up.
Rubley in trouble, but again he's able to escape. Howie Long was held in the backfield. I'm sure they're going to get a holding call. Rubley did a nice job of moving out of there and picking up 10 yards, but Howie Long for years has been one of the most adept at drawing holding penalties from the opposition. We'll see, in fact, if that is the call, but I think that Howie was definitely interfered with as he tried to rush T.J. Rubley.
Yeah, I wondered how he got outside of Howie, because normally he's got out containment, and you shouldn't let a quarterback jump outside. He had to be holding on a play. That was being held on a play, I should say.
Holding on the offense, 77. Holding on the defense, 47. Penalties are offset. Still 2nd down. 2nd down.
Well, there was the first holding call against the Rams, and that was on Darrell Ashmore. You see going up to the line of scrimmage, he's the guy that held Howie Long, but then the Raiders were also flagged for one themselves.
Another pass draw formation here. Here it is. There's the draw.
And it's Russell White, the kid out of Cal, the rookie, and a nice pickup for Russell White, brought down by McDaniel. And here comes Russell again. Turns the corner. Squared those shoulders upfield and picked up a big gain again.
I'm going to tell you something. You have to be impressed with all the people they've had hurt, especially with offensive linemen. They're doing a very good job of moving the football here tonight. Talking about the Rams.
Russell White picks up. First and 10 from the 12-yard line. Rams stay in the I formation. Quick giver to Lester. He's all the way down to the goal line. He did not get in, but he picked up 11 yards on the play, and the Rams now are knocking at the door.
Sure, a big hole there, right up the middle.
Well, that's about as quick a developing.
Big gain on the play.
The guards fired out, hit the Raider linebackers who were still engaged when Lester ran right past them. And here's Russell White up in the air, tried to go up and over, and he's met by the Raiders and driven back.
That time they had the fullback at home, the halfback at home, and the wingback on the outside. The halfback had to go all the way across the formation to get into the hole. It takes too long at a short yardage, and as a result, there's penetration. No chance whatsoever to get over the top. Watch it again. He's lined up at left halfback, and he's got to run all the way over to the right side. The exchange wasn't that good, and Anderson pops over the top and makes a good tackle on the play.
Raiders have their short yardage defense in here. That's 5 defensive linemen up front. We practice on this every day. All NFL teams do. Here's Russell White, and again, he does not get in. And there's that short yardage defense of the Raiders rising up and knocking Russell White back.
Boy, that's what you have to do. Get down there good and long, grab the grass. Good roots on the defense that time. Good penetration by the defensive line.
So the Raiders coming up strong here now on back-to-back plays. Let's look at it from the other side, Hank.
Here you see it again. Good penetration on the part of the Raiders.
3 tight ends for the Rams. Russell White into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams.
Boy, he read that good. There was a crack on the, looked like over the left, in the gap between the center and the guard. He read it, made a terrific job. Did a terrific job of blocking on the play, number 71.
Kick by Zendejas is good. And Russell White, who not only can run that football, but can really dance, scores for the Rams.
He's got to be careful.
With the sun setting in the background, Tony Zendejas kicks off to Charles Jordan of the Raiders. Coming up the right side, he is hit, tripped up at the 20-yard line.
Not a good return that time, a little hesitation. Didn't quite know where he was going to go, and as a result, why was tackled with an arm tackle on that last play.
Courtney Griffin and R.J. Coors making the tackle, and the Raiders now will get the football first and 10 at the 20-yard line, as we told you he would. Jeff Hostetler comes out to start the third quarter of play for the Raiders. Raiders will go with their starting offensive line in, except at the left tackle spot where Todd Pete takes over now for Rich Stevens. And Hostetler gives the ball to Greg Robinson. And not much room for Robinson as he runs into Honko. And Walker is brought down.
Hostetler here, 8 of 11, 69 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
And he's just seemed more in control, it seems like to me tonight, Hank.
I think he's getting, you know, the more he plays, the better he's going to be. And I think this is the first time he's really played for an extended period of time, and I think it's starting to show.
He's a very competitive guy, and that's something that the Raider fans are going to see during the course of the season. The Rams with that 4-man front now coming strong at Hostetler. He gets the pass off to Napoleon McCallum. Steps out of the tackle and makes his way up to the 38-yard line. 19 yards. Good
Good delay pattern. Good delay pattern to to McCallum on the play. Look at good protection. Look at, he pops into the middle area wide open. Got a linebacker covering him man for man. He slips off the tackle, and McCallum is able to make a nice gain on the play. Here he is. Tucks the ball away. They try to knock the ball loose. A bad tackle. Didn't get a good grip of him. And as a result, he was able to make some yardage on the play. Extra there.
From the 39, Hostetler going to air it out. Looking for Alexander Wright, overthrown. Alexander Wright streaking up the left sideline, working against the defense of Robert Bailey.
You know what happens on that kind of a pass? You know the guy's a lightning guy, has tremendous speed, and as a quarterback, you want to make sure that you get the ball to him, and sometimes, just like happened on the last play, you throw it a little bit too far just to make sure he's got a chance to make the catch in the overthrow.
Hostetler had completed 6 in a row. The Raiders have scored in 2 of their 4 previous possessions. 2nd and 10 from the 39. Throwing upfield, he has a completion, this time to Willie Gault. He's turned out of bounds there by Robert Bailey.
Well, he catches the ball inside on the first pattern. Now he goes outside on the next pattern.
15 yards on the play.
One thing, you know, that you have to worry about, watch the replay on this. When he breaks to the outside, the ball is right at the numbers, right where it has to be thrown. He maintains possession, gets knocked out of bounds, but a good route by Willie Gault.
Robert Bailey is a guy who turned him out of bounds, is a guy who covers pretty well. He anticipates well, and he can close to the ball well, too, but he's got to give Gault some respect over there. Here comes Greg Robinson, past the 40, down to the 36-yard line. Stewart making the grab.
You know, one thing you like about Robinson is the fact that he really maintains good possession. He's got good control of the ball. I don't think I've seen him fumble yet. Here we see him again. Napoleon, McCallum gets a good block at the hole. Robinson makes a cutback. You know, when you're cutting back like that, you want to cut across the face of the would-be tackler. That's where you make your big runs, across his face. Meaning that he goes across, he's going right beyond you, you can cut underneath that face, and he can take all the room on the left side.
On 2nd and short, McCallum right at the middle. Penalty flags fly, though. There was motion over on the right side. Going back to Greg Robinson, I talked to Joe Scannella, the Raiders running back coach, about him tonight. He said he's very impressed with the kid, Hank. He said he makes quick decisions, and he just has an uncanny knack to find the hole. Very good at the point of attack.
Ball start on the right end, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And incidentally, talking about Joe, he's very excited about the running backs he's got on this team. Here's you see the replay. Saw the jump off sides.
That was Ethan Horton moving offside on the right side. And the Raiders now in a situation where they're at 2nd and 6. They lead 17-13. We're in the 3rd quarter. Hostetler under pressure. He's not going to escape this time. The sack by Thomas Hamko. He's a guy who moved up to the backup linebacker position, and check those out. Here, they cut Larry Kelm this past week, who was playing ahead of him, and they kept Hamko. Now it is 3rd down for the Raiders and 9 after the sack. Hostetler's pass is completed to Willie Gault. Willie knew right where he had to get to the 1st down, and he got it.
You know, that's one thing that Willie Gault, you know, anytime he starts to get down the field, you better start backpedaling. You better give him a good cushion, because he'll run right by it. And as a result, he ought to be able to catch many balls in front of the defensive backs, just like he did on that last play.
There's Howie Long on the sideline. Howie loves the game of football. Spent this summer up in Montana. Bought himself a place up there, fishing, enjoying himself. That's where he plans on living, in Montana in the future. Here's Greg Robinson, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage and brought down. That was a nice play by Chris Martin, who's another one of these new Ram acquisitions at the linebacker spot, acquired by the Rams from Kansas City in May for a draft pick.
Martin did a super job of coming off the ball, got a good jump, got penetration, and stuffed the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Watch him come outside now. Watch Martin. Well, it didn't look as good as it the 2nd time as it did the 1st time.
But still, he had been engaged by Napoleon McCallum there. And he shed that ball. Good protection this time for Hostetler. And he has a completed pass to Ethan Horton.
Well, he hadn't caught a ball in a long time. Ethan Horton in preseason games. He's got to feel good about that catch.
The tackle made by Michael Stewart.
The key here is look at the good pass protection. See, he's got a chance to step, follow through, and throw the ball, and that's the kind of protection you have to be. Watch again. Look, he's got all the time in the world to get rid of the football.
And watch Ethan turn at him and put that stiff arm out and say, "Get away from me, man. I'm out of bounds." Watch this straight arm, Hank.
Oh, yeah, does a good job. Looks like Foreman's left jab.
Just about as long. 1st and 10 now at the 20-yard line. Hostetler. Plenty of time, but it's breaking down now. He's hit as he throws, and the pass is nearly intercepted.
There's a flag down on the play.
Steve Israel had the ball right in his hands and couldn't hang on for what appeared to be an interception. Hostetler had time, Hank, but as the play evolved, he got hit right at the end.
Watch Hostetler looking, going to the outside. Has to get rid of the ball like he did.
Gerald Robinson put the pressure on.
He made a good hit. He made a good hit and made him throw the ball before he actually really wanted to throw the ball.
Timeout, Raiders.
The Raiders are going to burn a timeout here with 2nd and 10, 2:58 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. It's the Raiders 17, the Rams 13. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. Beautiful night here in Anaheim.
I was concerned about them looking back and not steering the machine up there.
2nd and 10 at the 19. Hostetler a little late out from center, throws a pass over the middle. Napoleon McCallum for the Raiders down to the 5-yard line. Hosgo combining on the tackle with Henry rolling. Big pickup.
Both teams have really had a lot of success throwing that ball to the back in the middle, haven't they? Here again, watch McCallum. There he is, coming into the middle area. And he gets a good hit that time again by rolling, but he maintains possession of the football.
Brown wide right, Alexander right on the left-hand side. The backs are offset. Hostetler gives the ball to Greg Robinson, fighting for that end zone. He fumbles the football, and it is recovered by the Rams. The Rams have the football. The recovery made by Martin. Picked it up, and I thought for a split second that he might be able to take it back a long way, though, Hank, but the Raiders realized what was happening there and got to Martin, but nonetheless, the Rams have rebuffed the Raider drive.
Here we see it again. Watch it. Going to the right side. Montoya getting a block to the outside, but nobody is blocking. The safety man coming up quickly to make the tackle. He's the one who created the problem. Number 22, R.J. Coors.
So the Raiders' lead remains at 17-13. We've got 2:11 to go. Jeff Hostetler completed 5 of 7 passes on that drive. The Raiders had the ball for 6 minutes. They end up coming up empty after they fumble by Robinson. Rams had the football. T.J. Rubley's pass dropped by Lester.
Well, that's the first one they dropped, or was incomplete in that middle area by the backs.
And there, Hank, is David Fulcher, just obtained by the Raiders. He was surprisingly released by the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of weeks ago. Here's a guy who's made the Pro Bowl 3 times and is trying to make the transition from safety to linebacker. What about that transition?
I think it's a very good move on the part of the Raiders. You know, he's a strong safety, and most of the time, as big as he is, that's like a linebacker playing the strong safety position. But I think he'll adapt to that very well if he can get used to being that close to the line of scrimmage instead of being as far back as he normally was when he was a safety.
That was Russell White with the football. Short pickup. Out to the 15-yard line. It will be 3rd and 7.
There you see, a good shot. Good tackle at the point of attack. And not much of a gain on the play.
That was good.
Very good job on the play.
Greg Beekert is the man who wrapped him up. Rubley, quick developing play as the completion to Richard Buchanan, and Buchanan is brought down by James STRAM. And Richard Buchanan, Hank, is a guy who picks up 11 yards on that play. He's one of 9 wide receivers right now on the Rams, and he's fighting for a spot. He's been pretty impressive.
He's been very impressive, in my opinion. Very impressive. And that was a good throw that time too. He caught it right in stride, about number high. That's where you want to throw the ball when you throw it in the middle area.
Buchanan caught 3 for 71 yards. He had that big one, a 52-yarder earlier, don't forget. There's the pass. It completed to Troy Drayton. And Drayton is brought down by Dan Lamb. And the Rams are getting into it. It seems like a tempo, good quick tempo here, Hank.
They are, especially when you got another quarterback in the game to maintain that same tempo. That was a very good catch that time. He had to reach for it, caught it in his hands, and made a nice gain in the play.
Here you see 27. That is Ernie Jones, one of 3 new wide receivers on the team just obtained this week. Not only Jones from Phoenix, but Tony Hargain out of Kansas City. Sam Grady, of course, from the Raiders. Russell White is the bone remaining back. Looks like Rubley might be changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and it's a busted play. I don't think Russell White heard the audible, because Rubley went to hand the ball off to him, and White was running past him. Third quarter has come to an end with the score, the Los Angeles Raiders 17, the Los Angeles Rams 13. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. I don't think we're... Hey, Susan, it's Rich. Could you ISO for me on Buchanan again, number 9, White?
Raider preseason football is being brought to you by Jack in the Box, where there's always something new. By Ford and your Southern California Ford dealer. And by Fila Run Ball and Alley-Oop. Fila, change the game.
Raiders lead at 17-13 as we start the 4th quarter of play, but the Rams are on the move right now. They have 2nd and 10 with the ball at the 38-yard line. Here's Russell White following Tim Lester in front of him. Gets a block at the line of scrimmage, but then he's knocked out of bounds, brought down. Nice tackle by Andre Bruce, who wrapped up his man.
It was a good move on the part of White, too. That time he got the pitch, student body right, had the ball in his left arm going to the right, and then switched the ball like he should have to the right arm, and right about that time was tackled on the play.
And the fans love this kid in Anaheim. T.J. Rubley in his second year.
Number 92 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Raiders' Ferrick Collins has been hit with a personal foul penalty. Ferrick Collins, first year out of Cal, spent last year on the developmental squad. That's why we're calling this really his first year, although he was with the team on the developmental squad. And that puts the ball now with a first down for the Rams at the 45-yard line. This is what it looks like from up above. Hey, Hank, you coaches would love that shot. Nice play fake. Tim Lester with the ball knocked out of bounds by Mike Jones.
See, that time the backs went right through the hole. Nobody touched them, which meant it wasn't a good fake. Normally, the read has got to be you tell your backs, listen, if you're doing a good job of faking, they'll be tackling you in the line of scrimmage. That time they didn't. As a result, they reacted well to the pass.
And the third quarter stats there, as you take a look at those, Hank, once again show that things are pretty even in this ball game. Now, right down the line, the Rams have an edge in total yardage. Most of that is picked up on the rushing yards, where they have 108.
Yeah, and of course they're creeping up a little bit on the turnovers, one instead of the number they had before.
Farrah Collins grabs Russell White in the backfield to bring him down. Nice job by Collins on that one. Collins is out of Cal, 6'6", 295 pounds. He's a very emotional guy, very intense. See that a lot of times in the practice field, even with Farrah Collins.
Well, that's the disposition of your life for a defensive lineman, I guarantee you that.
On the sideline, Chuck Knox must be on about his 10th piece of gum right now, talking to Ted Tollner right next to him, quarterback coach for the Rams. On third down, Rublin, good protection. Completed pass to Ernie Jones. Forced out of bounds by Dan Lamb, but a 15-yard pickup and another first down for the Rams.
It's one of the favorite things defensive backs do when you see them clap their hands after a pass reception. You know, he's disappointed in the coverage. Now here it is, one-on-one. Andre Bruce getting a good rush on the outside with the ball. You got it's a beautifully thrown ball. Watch the defensive back go clap his hand. That means bad coverage.
First and 10 on the 27. Russell White off the right side, has a couple of yards. Brought down by Beaker and by Mike Jones. We take a look now in the National Football League. Other games tonight, the Miami Dolphins leading the New York Giants 23-10 in the fourth quarter. 49ers over the Chargers 20-14 in the fourth. And a final score, Seattle has knocked off Houston at 20-10. Next week, opening games, of course, the Raiders will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings in the home opener at the Coliseum. Play fake again, Rubley escapes, gets the pass off, and Lester drops it. Boy, he's had 2 drops here in the second half.
And another good illustration, had he not been able to escape like he did, that would have been a sack. He's able to escape, throw the ball on the outside, should have been a completion. He drops the ball, there you see it. It was a little bit behind him. It's kind of a tough pass, but he still had a chance to make the catch.
Anthony Smith was chasing him, and you've got to have those heart palpitations when you hear Anthony coming up behind.
Oh, that's for sure. It's amazing how fast and quick he is, and how fast he gets off the football and reads the run of the pass.
All right, big play now, 3rd and 6. They're going to operate right over center, not out of the gun. Rubley straight back, pressure. Nolan Harrison whacks into him, forces a fumble. I believe the Raiders have recovered. Now the ball comes loose again. It's loose down there. The Raiders originally looked as though they had it.
Nolan Harrison, I think, is the guy that made the first hit, number 74.
Exactly right. Nolan Harrison forced the fumble, but then the ball came loose again, and the Rams end up recovering the football. That means it's Zendejas time again.
And he got the radar hooked up to that foot of his. He's accurate, isn't he?
Boy, is he ever. He's about 75% in his career. Look at that hit by Nolan Harrison.
Oh, that was a beautiful hit.
46-yard field goal attempt by Tony Zendejas. He's connected tonight from 47 and from 28. High snap. Kick by Zendejas is good. And the Rams have pulled to within 1 point. In the best preseason game of the year in terms of competitiveness and excitement for both of these teams. It's the Raiders 17, the Rams 16, 11:39 to go in the ball game. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. Raiders are good. Yeah, the Ram fans will be all over the talk shows for T.J. Rubley over Jim Everett this week. That drive, Dennis. What? Kick up? No, I didn't hear it. The Rams pull within 1 point on the Zendejas 46-yard field goal. They drove 60 yards in 13 plays following the fumble by Greg Robinson. So that turnover really did end the Raiders as they appeared to be going in for a touchdown themselves. Here's a kick. It goes out of bounds. The Raiders will get the ball in good field position now at the 35-yard line.
The ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff.
I can't understand why they take a chance of kicking that ball that close to the sideline when it's a penalty and they get the ball in about the 35.
We received a report that Shane Conlon is out with a strained groin, and there's a guy who really enjoys playing football at the age of 38, Vince Evans. He'll be the Raider quarterback when we continue. This is Los Angeles Raiders football. Was I supposed to do it there or no?
Pardon me?
She was signaling.
No, they changed it now. We're going to do US Air now.
Here comes Nick Bell back. All right.
We never did find out what was wrong with him. Did we get a report?
No. Did somebody check on that?
You got to get a report and find out what happened.
Hey. Yeah. How long was the drive on the other possession, Dennis? When Robinson fumbled. How much? Raiders are up by a point with 11:35 to go. Travel for our KCAL sports crew is arranged through US Air with lower weekend fares to San Francisco for flights all day Saturday and Sunday. The US Air California shuttle, because US Air begins with you. Vince Evans up over center now to start the Raiders' second possession of the second half. Gives the ball to Gaston Green. Dodging and juking at the line of scrimmage, but not much there for Gaston. He is in and getting a lot of playing time tonight due to the injury to that man, Nick Bell, who's limping noticeably. He was injured in the first half. This, I think, is a bit encouraging from the fact that he had to be carried off and couldn't put any weight on the legs when he went off.
Yeah, and you can't tell whether it's a knee or an ankle.
Still waiting for a report on that. If we get one, we'll pass it along to you.
There's a pass draw formation again. Let's see what happens here. There it is.
Evans right over the middle to Napoleon McCallum. Gets away from Henry Rolling and picks up a first down for the Raiders. Nice bit of work for Napoleon McCallum, who in his 5th year from the Navy is a guy who's very versatile. He's one of those guys who stays on a team, Hank, because he can just do a lot of different things.
Yeah, and they like him especially on specialty teams too. Look at it. Now he's got the option to either go outside or inside. He chose to go inside, and again fights his way for extra yardage and picks up about 4 more yards after he's hit the first time. Here we see it again, coming across the middle, changes direction, spins away from a tackler, and gets another 4 yards on the play after he's hit the first time.
Long count this time by Vince Evans. Takes the long pass, dodging around. Here comes Hawkins at him and throws it away. Now, Hank, the fans are asking for intentional grounding. There's a different interpretation of the rule this year.
Yeah, but that time he wasn't rolling out. He was still in the pocket. You can't.
He went way back, but he went way back, but he was still within the tackles.
Yeah,
and that's why the fans are booing.
That's right, because that should have been a penalty.
Apparently, the officials didn't feel that he was in, I guess, imminent danger of being sacked at that point. Hostetler played his best game of the preseason for the Raiders tonight at a good 3/4 of work. It's Vince Evans' game now, though. The Raiders up by a point. He drills that pass to Darryl Hobbs, who is the Raiders' leading receiver so far in the preseason, and that is his 12th reception of the preseason. And Darryl Hobbs, who last year was on the developmental squad and who came to camp as a long shot this year, has a real chance to make this football team.
You know, Evans is amazing. Number one, look how deep he gets back into the pocket to make sure that he's away from the pass rush. And he's got a very live arm at this stage of his career. He really got that ball and got to the receiver and hurt.
He is 14 years in the National Football League, 38 years old. Played in 5 games last year. Got his most action, though, in that season finale against Washington. Gaston Green runs right into Mark Boutte, and there's nothing there for Gaston.
See, it's amazing. He hasn't run a play outside yet. Everything he's run has been inside. You know, it's surprising that they don't throw him a screen or run a draw or something outside instead of all the middle plays he runs.
Gaston is considered a guy who needs some running room to get things going.
Oh, he needs space. Yeah, he needs space, and he's got great speed and quickness.
Yeah, because when he gets out into the open field, look out.
Yeah, that's right. He can change the scoreboard in a hurry.
But it's enough for a first down for the Raiders. They get 1st and 10 with the ball at the 40-yard line of the Rams. That's Darryl Hobbs in motion. Napoleon McCallum struggles forward for about 3 yards. Honko making the tackle. The Raiders this week traded wide receiver Sam Grady to the Rams, and they traded David Jones to Cleveland. Look at those eyes on Honko. I can't get over those eyes, eh? Man. Whoa, boy.
The only thing we don't see is fire coming out of those eyes. Flame.
2 yards in the pickup for McCallum. 2nd and 8 for the Raiders. There's a big blitz, and down goes Vince Evans. And it is Honko, who you know is going to have those eyes even wider open now. A middle blitz.
Watch him now, middle blitz. He loves this. Nobody touches him. Look at those eyes. Focus on Evans. He puts him in the vise. He just doesn't grab him. He tackles him, and that's what you like to see. He really wrapped him up in a vise that time.
We're beginning to see why the Rams were willing to cut Larry Kelm this week to allow this kid to move up into a 2nd-string role.
Well, he's put on a good show. Look at all the room on the right side, the flanker on the right side. He ought to do business there.
And on 3rd and 19, we'll see if he does. Evans throwing, Darryl Hobbs wide open. He's going to be short of the first down, but a big pickup on the play. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. Evans to Darryl Hobbs.
See, they had a one-on-one situation. Evans read it perfectly, got the ball inside. And they pick up a nice gain on the play.
Hey, Hobbs, he has great hands. He doesn't have the burner speed that a lot of these guys have got on this Raider team, but he can really hang on to that football, Hank.
Yeah, but he's got Burner's quickness, and that's very, very important.
The Raiders now on 4th and 2 are going to go for it. Gaston Green.
Yeah.
Close, but I don't know. He had to get actually inside the 30-yard line.
No way he got that. Unless they made a mistake where they marked the ball initially, but it didn't look like he made the first down at all. We'll see what happens.
Does not look like he made it. They're kind of moving the ball a little, but I don't think he got it. You saw Chuck Knox, he loved it, and there's Honko getting a lot of slapping fives from his teammates, and well deserved.
Here we go again. Look at that. No way in the world. There's no place in the world to run on the play.
This is Los Angeles Raiders football. What's that?
Let me say when I got it.
There's Chuck Knox on the sideline. He likes the fact that his Ram defense just held the Raiders on 4th and 2. And right now, Chuck Knox is 6th all time in terms of most career wins. George Halas leading the way, but look who's number 10.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it?
Who is that guy? Rams now hoping to get a win in this football game. Rubley gives the ball to Russell White. He struggles forward for about 2 yards off the left tackle. Here's T.J. Rubley, impressive tonight.
Yeah, he's impressive, is right. He's doing a terrific job. You know the thing that impresses you about him, he's got a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and I like the way he moves.
Last week, the Rams played Mike Pagel in the backup quarterback's role, but this week, Rubley, who broke most of Jerry Rome's records at Tulsa, is the man who's taking control here in the second half. 2nd and 7. Here comes Anthony Smith from behind, but he gets the pass off, and then somehow he managed to drop that football between 3 Raiders and into the arms of Travis McNeil.
Boy, that was a miracle throw that time between those 3 defensive people. McNeil makes the catch. You talk about pinpoint passing. That was a great demonstration of it on that last play. Terrific. Look at this now. He steps up, sees it. Look at him. How he got the ball in there, I don't know, but it was perfect. You couldn't hand it to him any better than that.
A crushing hit by Ricky Dixon to end the play, but a great pass by Rubley. Play fake. Airing it out deep. Incomplete.
Very good coverage on the play.
Intended for Richard Buchanan. Buchanan is the guy I talked about earlier, Hank, is trying to make this team as a free agent one of 9 wide receivers. He's not taking anything for granted, though. He's on a leave of absence from his job as a video store assistant manager back in Chicago, and they tell him they're holding his job for him just in case.
Well, he said, I noticed a script in the paper. He said, listen, if I get cut, I get cut, but I won't feel badly because I know that I've done everything I possibly could to make this football team. If I make it great, if I don't, that's the way it goes. Pretty good outlook.
Russell White picks up about a yard to around the 40-yard line. Raiders led 14-3 at halftime. They connected early in the first half on a Hostetler to Smith, the 14-yard touchdown pass. Anthony Smith with a sack and a fumble recovery ran it in from 4 yards out to give the Raiders a 14-0 lead. Rams have had 3 field goals tonight from Zendejas and a Russell White 1-yard touchdown run. Right now it's 17-16 Raiders. We have 4:42 remaining in the ball game. T.J. Rubley has had a hot hand, hits Troy Drayton over the middle, and Drayton is down to the 27-yard line, maybe the 26.
to belabor the point, but you have to be very impressed with this kid. Look at him step in that pocket and throw the ball. Rubley, I'd like to know how many balls they threw in that middle area of the Raider defense with such great success.
And right now, Rubley is 8 of 12 for 134 yards. Russell White, straight up the middle, has a couple of yards. Knocked down by Andre Bruce, David Fulcher wearing number 45, and Willie Broughton, fifth-year player out of Tennessee, Chattanooga. There's Farrah Collins lining up in the defensive line for the Raiders, who are trying to hold off this Rams serve. Play fake. Incomplete. Ram fans want an interference call. Ernie Jones really wants the interference call. The man defensively that they're yelling about was James Trapp.
I don't think it was pass interference at all. I think Trapp played the ball well. And I think any time that you make a gesture like he did, showing it's just good coverage on the play. Look at this. Ooh, I didn't.
They feel he held him up there as the ball was coming.
Yeah, the ball, you're right. You're sure right.
Rams spread the field here. Look at this, 4 wide, though, Hank. 4 wide receivers. Rubley's pass incomplete. Threw it behind Buchanan. And now to try to take the lead, Tony Zendejas will come out to attempt his 4th field goal of the night.
It's tough to block those field goals as on Zendejas because he gets the flaps up so fast. That ball rises fast.
His cousins, Luis, Joaquin, Max, all kicked in the NFL. He is extremely successful. Tony is 3 for 3 tonight, trying from 39 yards away. 3:09 remaining in the ball game. The kick is good. Rams lead for the first time tonight. And now the Raiders will have to fight back. This is Los Angeles Raiders football.
Spectacular. Let's go back to Anaheim.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Here's the kickoff now by the Rams. Tony Zendejas coming to Charles Jordan at the 4-yard line. Heads for the right side. Raiders could use some field position here. Charles Jordan is cut down from behind at the 24-yard line. It looked as though that one might break free, but it did not.
Keep going. Keep clapping. Keep clapping.
Timeout is called on the field. Raiders trail 19-17. This is Los Angeles Raiders football.
Keep going. Keep going.
Knox, you want to get Chuck Knox? Hank wants to talk about Knox. You want to get him coming out of the commercial?
Well, that's all right. Listen, just when we got a chance to talk about him, if you can get him on there, it'd be nice to have. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Well, that's all right. Well, whatever. Just so we.
Again, what about a season seats? I haven't done a season seats this half, I don't think, Susan. Yeah, we gassed it before. Goodyear blimp providing those aerial pictures for us tonight. Goodyear blimps log over 100,000 miles every year covering major sporting events, and we're happy to have them covering this one tonight. This Southern California rivalry resulting in a terrific preseason game between the Rams and the Raiders. And right now the Rams leading at 19-17 with 2:56 to go. Vince Evans from the 22 has a completed pass to Napoleon McCallum, and it's a pickup of about 4 yards. It will be 2nd and 6.
This is the best game I've seen Napoleon McCallum play. Of course, I haven't seen them play many games, but this is by far the best one he's played so far this season.
Well, as a rookie several years ago, he rushed for 536 years. It looked as though he was going to have a fine career with the Raiders, but then they sent him off of the Navy for a couple of years. And he lost an opportunity then, I think, to develop right off the bat.
Well, he's a very steady, dependable, solid player. There's no question about that.
Evans. Incomplete. Looking for James Jett, the rookie out of West Virginia, who signed with the Raiders as a free agent, was undrafted. 1992 gold medal winner in the Olympic 400-meter relay team was James Jett.
One thing when you throw those lightning guys, Rich, you have to throw the ball at the numbers so he just catches it and is able to take advantage of that great speed. Once he has to leap for the ball, then of course it becomes a totally different picture as far as running is concerned.
Now it is 3rd and 6 for the Raiders with 2:18 to go in the ball game. They bring Andrew Glover into the backfield and Ty Montgomery, the 3rd down back. Evans looking, can't find anything open, takes off on his own up to the 30, up to the 40. Vince Evans doing his thing all the way up to the 48-yard line. A pickup of 21 yards. The old man does it again.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Just amazing how he can make plays like that at this stage of his career.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
Look at this, changes direction, and the nice thing about very decisive, once he sees the opening, he takes advantage of it.
We reach the 2-minute warning with the Raiders driving. This is Los Angeles Raiders football.
Two minutes.
Hey, Susan, can I just ad-lib the season seat thing instead of I just want to talk about the opener next week. It'll be your chance to see the Coliseum for the first time, that kind of thing, rather than... I'll do the numbers, of course, but... All right. Oh, okay. Say fans, don't forget 1993 Raiders season seats just a phone call away. Call 310-322-5901. Don't forget the season opener next week, a week from tomorrow against the Minnesota Vikings. What an opener that should be. And don't forget, you'll be able to see for the first time the newly renovated Coliseum, capacity reduced to just 68,000. The great improved seating. You're going to be right on top of the action now. And don't forget the ticket office will be open tonight until 90 minutes following the game. That one carry by Vince Evans for 21 yards makes him the leading Raider rusher tonight. Now his pass is complete to Andrew Glover. Glover inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line, and the Raider fans raising a ruckus now after a 24-yard completion.
Boy, that was a big play to the tight end. And look at the pass protection. A lot of time to throw the ball. That was important. That's where it all begins. It gets the ball right between the 8 and the 7. Beautiful throw and a great catch by Glover. Watches it in right into his hands.
Vince Evans trying to do to the Los Angeles Rams what he did to the Washington Redskins in the season finale last year. Here's Gaston Green. Not much there for Gaston. He's down to about the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8. And the clock continues to run. Now it shows 1 minute 37 seconds to go. We've received word that Nick Bell has a pulled hamstring and is doubtful or at least questionable for next week.
See, that's what you concern yourself with when you play in that last game, hoping that none of your regulars get hurt. This is a severe blow to the Raiders.
For the Rams, Shane Conlon went out with a strained groin tonight. We'll be following those injuries, of course, during the week. Here's Gaston Green off the right side. Has a little bit of running room this time, and he backs down to the 21-yard line.
Does seem there's like there's a lot of good blood between Green and his old teammates with the Rams.
Raiders just letting the clock roll, of course.
Yep, they're just setting up the field goal opportunity. A good hit there by Martin, number 53, came in from the linebacker position and got a good tackle on him from the side.
3rd down. You think the Rams ought to call timeout, maybe to save a little time for themselves here, Hank?
That's a possibility.
Here's Napoleon McCallum straight up the middle. The Raiders just trying to keep it in the middle of the field for him. Clock continues to run. We have a fight now away from the ball breaking out. They'll stop it for that.
Timeout, Rams.
Now the Rams do call the timeout with 18 seconds, but I think seeing what was going on there, that maybe the Rams, from their vantage point, maybe should have tried to call timeout to save themselves. They're not going to leave themselves with much time if this field goal attempt by Jaeger is good.
Here we see Chuck. I had a great visit with him yesterday, and he's really excited about the challenge of coaching this team. He's done a fantastic job every place he's been. He's won every place he's been, and he expects to do the same thing again with the Rams. He's excited about this young team and some of the young talent, and he's really looking forward to the season with great anticipation and great enthusiasm. I'll guarantee you that after talking to him yesterday. He did say, however, this is probably one of the toughest jobs I've ever had.
The Rams have never had a winless preseason since moving to Los Angeles long ago. From the 27-yard line, a 37-yard field goal attempt by Jeff Jaeger. The game lying in his hands now.
Looked like they were offside.
The kick is good. Raiders lead.
Or a pressure kick. And talking to Jaeger before the game, I said, how you kick it? He said, how do I know? Never get a chance to kick in the game.
He had only tried 2 field goals during the course of the preseason, both in the same game.
Yeah.
And is he a happy guy, Hank?
Oh, he's got to be. He's elated. Here it is. Keeps his head down. And it goes right through there like it had eyes.
Jeff's not too happy about that, is he? 8 plays, 55 yards. Raiders take the lead, 20-19.
He's all smiles, full of happiness, justifiably so. That's a big kick.
37 yards to give the Raiders a 1-point advantage. Last year, the Rams won in overtime. So this is 2 years in a row that the teams have played very tight games decided by a field goal here at Anaheim Stadium in the preseason. Don't forget, next week, the season opener for the Raiders will be at home against the Minnesota Vikings. For the Rams, they'll be on the road against the Green Bay Packers. There's Vince Evans and Gaston Green.
Here we go. Now they got to kick, I would think, they got to kick a knuckleball so they can put the ball in play, start the clock as soon as you possibly can. See what he does.
Jeff Jaeger made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago. He's in his 5th year with the Raiders, and there's Vince Evans.
Well, I think he nailed down that quarterback position. That backup, there's the knuckleball.
Boy, it didn't get very far, Hank.
It sure did.
But it turns out to be, it might have been hit by a Ram and bounced back to the Raiders. Let's see who the officials say recovered.
Looks like the Raiders.
Raiders have it. Elvis Patterson comes out of there with the football. The third fumble of the night for the Rams, and it dooms their chances. Had they been able to hang on to the football there, they would have had it in pretty good field position. A play or two down the field, they might have had a shot at winning the game on a field goal.
One thing you have to do, you got to look for the space when you make that kind of a kick that gets between people. It doesn't go through people very well, and if you hit somebody, why, that's the problem you have.
Miami beat the Giants tonight, 23-17. Fans heading for the exits now. It appears as though the Raiders will win this football game and hand the Rams their first winless preseason ever since moving to Los Angeles. Vince Evans takes the ball, goes to one knee, and the clock will run down. The preseason has come to an end. Art Shell walks off the field. He told his players this week he wanted them to approach this game in their mindset as a regular season game, and there's Nick Bell limping off the field with a hamstring pull. But the Raiders have won this football game to close out the preseason with 2 victories and 3 losses. Steve Ortmeyer, the Raiders special teams coach, talking to Jeff Jager, who booted through the game-winning kick, and he gets some congratulations from the 2 kickers of the Los Angeles Rams, and Dejas and Buffalo.
And Steve Ortmeyer really done a terrific job with these specialty teams. He's got a good approach. He's got new schemes almost every week, and has really done a remarkable job for them.
Right now, as the Raiders walk off the field with the victory in hand, we're going to switch to the Great Western Forum, where, remember, Fight Night at the Forum is coming up. Let's go to Gary Cruz. Gary?